People of YouTube, this is Gavaroc. I have never played, never touched, never gone anywhere near this game before. But the person with me has. He's done pretty much everything except the really, really ridiculous stuff. You can say hi if you like.
I have indeed.
Yes.
Hey guys, it's Samurai Fox here. How you all doing?
Very old friend, known by many names back then, but now we just call him Sam. You may remember him, you may not. He's not Australian, unlike the last people I was recording with. Which
Indeed.
Is fun. But he is still from a similar sort of area. He is from our lords and masters over in England. Except not really, because we're not convicts anymore. Right. Now, this is the Stanley Parable. It's an odd little game. I don't know a great deal about it other than what I've been told, which is you play a guy and there's a narrator, and the narrator tells you what to do, and you can either do what he says to do or do the opposite, or do differently. And there's a billion different endings depending on how you do that. So, I am just going to do whatever comes into my head and see what I end up with. Absolutely no idea what's going to happen. And then after that one rough go through, we're going to do another one where I'm going to go a specific way that Sam tells me, and which should apparently get a really, really weird ending. So let's see how this goes. Never the end is never the end is never the end is loading. But what?
Yes, the end is loading. Prepare.
But shouldn't the beginning load first?
Does it always have to start? Does the beginning always have to start first?
I suppose not. It should probably load faster than this, shouldn't it?
The first time it will load quite slowly.
Okay, the thingy hasn't moved in a while.
It'll load.
Oh, there we go. Big jump. Now it's at halfway. Oh, now it's moving at a not quite a snail's pace. I say it's something a bit south of a snail's pace. At this point, the nearby snails are speeding along, laughing at finally not coming last.
Gavaroc will soon be old enough to match his avatar.
Yes, well. Get off my lawn! Click to skip.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, really?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
So
this
he's
is
Desmond.
what employee 427 did
Pretty
every
much.
day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this
What an
job.
interesting man.
And Stanley was happy.
Stanley seems dull as crap.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one
Yes,
single
it took him
order
an hour.
arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
And there we go.
That sounded very Douglas Adams so far. I'm just going to up the volume because I reckon that was way too quiet. That's the thing, I can't really test volume when I have to not play the game until on recording. So let's bring that back to close to top. Just because I reckon people are probably going to say, "It was too quiet." Which is fine, it's the start of the game. There were subtitles. If you couldn't hear it, read it. Okay, we can move. This is good. Can we do anything other than look at things?
You could try jumping.
With space?
Or not.
What button tries jumping?
Well, you can't jump, clearly.
I'm pressing different buttons. Nothing's happening. Ooh. Say that's a jump. Oh no, that's a squat. Wait. This doesn't seem right. The human body does not contort in this fashion. Can we go under the... No, we can't. This looks really weird. This is like... It's like a jackhammer, except first person. Boing, boing, boing. I've had enough of that. I'm trying to find the jump button. I'm pressing every goddamn button on my keyboard. Nope.
You're going to be there for a while.
Fine. Door? Nope. Window? Nothing. It's not bad looking, this.
Workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
There he entered the Twilight Zone.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Why would you be looking for a trace of your co-workers? What are you going to do? Like, get a little piece of paper and fill it in and... Nah, I don't know. That is a crappy computer. And again, they all are. This can't be set recently.
Obviously not. Or was it? That's just a really poorly equipped office.
Yeah, they actually all left because they just got fed up with the crappy computers. Stanley didn't give a shit because he was their button drone. Nope. There's literally no button to interact with the environment. I like to think that instead of actually trying to open these doors, he's just bashing his head into them. Duh! 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 Yeah, no. Shh. Oh, it's leaves. 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 I can speak. What's that? I don't know.
It's a room.
Well, yeah, but there was a
Stanley
thingy.
came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Did he? I don't remember agreeing to that. Fine. We'll play by the rules.
For now.
Well, yes. That computer is on. This shit really isn't that interesting. I should probably stop looking through every open window.
Yet there was not
Some of this in here is quite interesting.
Either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
Yes,
there.
there is a whiteboard manager.
Whiteboard manager. Do not alter without consult. Ideas and develop what to do about 432. Isn't that me? Don't tell 430.
No, you're 427.
Okay. Don't tell 432 about the meeting. Weekly targets admin. We're broke Wednesdays. Weekly review. Market windows. Okay. What's over here? Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Get Chris out of the broom closet. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is you. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. The spell that makes spells bound.
This sounds like such an interesting company.
The Boss Appreciation Minute. On your Boss Oh. What did that? What do people want? Things! Money! More money! Things, but with money to buy more things! Graphs! Graphs about things and money! We have our new product. What is hot?
What is hot?
Profits, 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 profits. So a whole bunch of money and Moses just standing in a line. The stock market is somewhere here.
Other religious profits are available.
Target demographic, teenagers, stripes. And a telephone directory. Bi-quarterly post-review review. We need less reviews. Want to get rid of the death sport portion in primary review schedule, but I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water cooler heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demographic. Find teenagers to put in teenage demographic. Big net, some sort of child trap. Work harder, hard worker. A lot of percent. Space between the teenagers and the teenagers. Throw something in the ideas bin. No more bins. Renaming of the ideas bin. Firing of... whatever the hell that is. Right, let's continue. Broom closet. Oh, I'm allowed in.
This entire episode's just going to be me
Stanley
laughing
stepped
my head
into
off.
the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Oh, fine. Piss you then. Assuming the
Coming to a
boss is
staircase,
up.
Stanley
Yes.
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay.
Surely the boss will help. Surely he's going to be here and... Wow! Nice place. More doors that don't open. Stanley really should learn the fine art of opening a door. If he uses his hands to press buttons all day, surely he knows how to turn a knob.
He's been pressing.
mean, he is
he's
a
been
knob
pressing
after-
buttons for that. He's been pressing buttons for that long. His hand has been contorted into just the pointing finger.
Yeah, he actually doesn't turn the knob, he just pokes the door and wonders why it doesn't give way. If he does it long
Stepping
enough,
into
it'll
his
work.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
Are you trying to play the piano?
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Do. Do I get Tifa's secret savings now? Ah. Now what the hell am I supposed to do? Thingy?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Oh,
Trying
okay.
to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Of course, he could never know that.
No. Ooh, I can actually do something here.
2845.
Fine.
Incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Congratulations!
Passageway. Oh, that one. Right. Jesus H. Well, that's a bit of an overkill, don't you think? No one is big enough to require that door. And if that's the
big
door you
box.
come in through, no one... Yeah, like, it's hardly a loading bay unless you're loading a giant bloody death robot into the building. I don't know. Occasionally I make sense. Darkness. Doorway. Lift. Jesus.
This is foreboding.
For loading. Loading. Actually, according to this, it's ding loading, lower.
Well, it is. It's loading the lower area.
It gets to the point where you see the word loading so much that it no longer becomes loading. You start reading as low adding.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley
Do you?
realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a
bit
stirring
peculiar.
of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free
Yes,
to
he suddenly
think for
turns
himself,
Australian.
to question the nature of his job.
Where's all me bloody co-workers,
And
mate?
for years, it had never occurred to him. This question would not go unanswered for long.
Stanley then hung himself. No. Right.
Oh, that's depressing. Although not as depressing as some of the
Stanley walked
endings in this
straight ahead
game.
through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Must we?
Well, must you?
This is an ethical dilemma of epic proportions.
Because I want to know what's in there, but I also don't want to die.
It's your choice.
Piss it, let's be rebellious.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, The truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh. Well, let's go the other way then.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Kinda still want to go down that way.
I'm saying nothing.
Piss it, let's go down the death way.
Nope, still on board with death.
Does he say more things if you keep, like... No, now he's done. Well, mind control, death. Let's go with death. After all, this is a version of Stanley that contemplated hanging himself using the wire found earlier.
Indeed.
This is a long hallway.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
And cartoon splat at the bottom.
After an obligatory stupidly long loading screen. Am I not dead?
As the
you're
machine
not.
whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Oh.
he
Might
reflected
want to
that
look
his
up.
life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
As in look straight
Stanley
ahead.
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
It missed! Oh,
You
shit.
chose this. You chose this path.
It stopped.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
But we're still... I'm not nearly as dead as I should be here.
Yes.
I feel quite alive.
And yet it
The
would be just a
Stanley
few
Parable.
minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I don't like this black area.
When every
You
path
racist.
you can walk
Shut
has been
up.
created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
I'm not
Do you
sure if
see
I'm
now?
actually dead.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment
Welcome
he
to
hit
the
start?
behind-the-scenes museum.
Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. Set of two doors were the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it. Exploration of the contradiction, this room... blah blah. Filing cabinets. More shit. Blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from the office to the two doors, the first part of the game it was built. Yeah, no shit, you just told us that. Stanley's computer. Can't do anything with it, though. Nature paintings. No. The office. Button sounds. Yay. Each button is the mix of what? Keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Well, wasn't that enlightening?
Indeed.
What's that again? That's just a desk. What should I've already seen? Office computers. Oh, solitaire!
The credits.
And the impeccable Kevin Brighting. Brighting? Well, who was the other woman then? The narrator, but not quite narrator, who was a bit less male than the other one. Boss's office. Office clock. Good lord, how many places are there to go?
There's a lot.
2 years of development. Christ.
This is essentially behind the scenes now.
So it's just everything that's in the game.
Yes.
So there's
There
shit.
is more to the ending if you just go to the end of the museum. If you look at everything, it'll pretty much I think it'll spoil some of the other endings.
Let's not do that. How do you find the exit though?
Just follow the path.
But there's 2 ways to go.
Such as the Stanley Parable.
The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to lose. The point of the Stanley Parable HD remix is to win. That looks like something I hadn't encountered. Let's not go there. Oh god, there's so many places. From Art, regarding your game in the works. Dear really bright, I appreciate the previous Stanley game as a work of piss. No, it's just too bright. How far into this? Oh good, 21 minutes. Okay, if I can ever find the goddamn exit, then we can end this and make a new video, which is the guided path wherein he will lovingly lead me towards my doom. Is this the end?
Yes, this is the end.
Thank balls.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
Almost.
How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No.
This is getting rather sentimental.
Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Can you see the bit where you shut up and let me continue?
But listen to me.
Oh my...
You can still see
What?
these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Well,
Game over.
thanks for that. Does it come back, or do I have to relaunch it to play again?
It should come back.
Well, it isn't.
Press escape. Begin the game again.
Okay, fine. Right, that was the Stanley Parable, first impressions. Like I said, I'm going to do one more video of this, which is the special ending. I'm not going to do the whole game, because it's, as you can see, it's the sort of game you just sort of explore and find interesting things. So I'm going to let you guys do that by paying for it and buying it and playing it yourself. I'm helpful to game developers. Fare thee well.